Here come your Rockets!
Welcome to another edition of the show with Coach Gaige Courtney, and tonight we also have offensive coordinator Austin Berry here with us. The two Hall of Famers, Rocket Hall of Famers, they are, and glad to have them here for another year. We're going to get right to the show because we've got a lot to talk about, Coach Courtney. Our show is, of course, brought to you by Whitetail Properties in partnership with Par 4 Plastics, Deer Lakes Golf Course, Curnel Ag, Farmers Bank and Trust, H&H Home and Hardware, Johnson's Furniture and Appliance, KB Pharmacy, USA Mortgage, that's Darrick Myers, C Plant Federal Credit Union, Frazer Law Firm, Bart Frazer and Kobe Evans, Riley Tool Machine, voice of the Rockets, Todd Riley, and Mulligan's Pizzeria and Pub out there at the golf course, First United Bank, YTG Insurance, that's Tanner Tabor, and Hodge's Sports and Apparel, and Full Body Fitness, Serena Dickerson, leading the league in Booster Club activities, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
yeah.
no
All
doubt.
above.
All the above. We're so glad to get kicked off, and we're going to get right into, like I said, some of the nuts and bolts. Kind of do a preseason look at the guys, the roster and the lineups with the depth charts. First of all, we want to take a check on anybody coming that's come into the season now. We got some injuries, anything. We played 2 scrimmage. We'll talk real briefly about those. We played Marshall County and beat them by a touchdown. Played Madisonville. Had a little tough time with Madisonville, pretty athletic team. I thought we came out and held our own early and went down and scored. But Coach Courtney talked a little bit about them, and I know Tyree come out a little bit banged up.
You want me to just talk about the player injuries and things now?
Yeah, and the scrimmages.
Okay. Yeah, the I mean, honestly, in both scrimmages, we felt like that we could play a little bit better than we were playing. Thought even though the first scrimmage we may have won, that we did some things better in the second and some things differently that we had to fix from one to the other. There's some things that we did really good and some things that we didn't do really good. Some things that we got to get fixed. I think the main point from the scrimmages, we've seen a really good practice this week based on those scrimmages. I think Madisonville, and when you get beat like that and kind of embarrassed, that it kind of opened your eyes. And the guys really responded well this week to practice. So that's what I've saw the most out of it, us bouncing back. We knew there'd be a lot of mistakes. There were some mistakes, obviously, that we didn't want to see in those. But that's what they're for, to kind of see where you're at. And at some point it gets hard coaching and even for players to find mistakes within yourself because you're doing the same things against the same guys. It takes seeing other guys kind of expose you a little bit and other teams and what they do and things that we need to get better at. So it was really good playing those other teams. And as far as coming out healthy, the first one I think we came out completely healthy, and then this last one we came out a little bit banged up. Tyree's got a knee issue that's still going on. He's questionable. We expect him to play, honestly, but we still don't know for sure exactly the extent. We're still kind of digging in there, but feel like he's good enough to play. And then Gage Markin went down his shoulder. Everything came back, so he, as far as negative, they just feel it's a sprain. So, but he's not going to be able to go this week, which is a big blow to us, helping us both on both sides of the ball, and a major special teams guy for us. Keegan Pearson's a little bit banged up as well, who's really big for us on the offensive line and rotates in defensively. Am I missing anyone else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, those are the big 3 that are definitely would be big impact players for us that are a little bit banged up. 2 of the 3 we expect to play. One's officially out already.
Markham.
Yeah.
So we play big schools in our scrimmages. We got some big schools on our regular season schedule. Is that by design? You go play these bigger schools right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just destroy yourself early on, but at the same time, we know that we have a really tough schedule ahead of us. I don't think it helps us by going in and playing teams that we feel like we're better than. We need to see what we're going to see in the regular season. Our goal is always to win, and to do that, I think we're going to have to play really good people and get used to the size and the speed and see what we can do well against them.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, let's do. Let's jump right on in here and let's talk about the guys. I mean, that's what everybody wants to find out, especially right now. You know, up in the stands, and up in the press box and on the sidelines, and people are saying, "Who's number 8?
Right,
Who's number?"
right.
Because you never wear the right jerseys
Yeah.
hardly for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
At times, sometimes you're just wearing old jerseys.
Yeah, that's the main thing, honestly. It really is. Some guys are wearing the right numbers. I tell them to pick whatever number they want, but we just don't have them all.
Yeah. But anyway, everybody wants to know who is that guy that did that, know? So there's a lot of that going on, and we're going to try to fill everybody in tonight on who they saw and who they will see throughout the season. And man, everything starts at quarterback. And Coach Barry, offensive coordinator, I guess you're going to be the guy that's going to pull the trigger on this offense again this year. It's what, your fourth year, third year? Fourth year to trigger in the offense. And you got a newcomer back there at quarterback, but he's not really a newcomer. He's been around a long time, Quinn Summers. Let's start with him. Just talk about what you got on the offensive side.
Start with Quinn, because that's where it all starts in this offensive quarterback. I think Quinn's got the potential to be one of the best ones to ever come through here. Honestly, he was kind of in the same situation as Micah as a sophomore. Probably good enough to be a starter as a sophomore for a lot of teams, but just had that guy in front of him to where he couldn't get on the field. He's cool and calm under pressure, can make any throw. Just a real good guy to have back there. And when you talk about it, kind of works out nice. He's got a group of receivers that may be the most explosive that we've had here. I feel like we've had one or two really good receivers at times, but maybe not a top three like what we have right now. So you got at X receiver, it's Cameron Belcher. At our H position, that's Tyree McLean. He's moved over to the other side. And then you got Caden Howard at Z, and that's about as good of a top three as probably I feel like we've ever had. Guys that you'll see behind them, behind Cameron, Colt McLean, and Davis Perriman, you can see them out there. Braden Poindexter, more of a fullback type, but he's the backup for the H. Dakota Sosh is another starter at receiver. Noah Byford, Trey Taylor, Eli Laval is a freshman that's came in and done a really good job. Just a lot of guys that you could see out there getting some reps and have really done a good job just learning this offense this summer and have done a good job.
The guys that walking around town, the people who've been to the scrimmage, maybe some kids that have kind of just come out of the shadows all of a sudden. Who Noah Byford, everybody knows who Noah Byford is, but he's made a name for himself already the way he's played, and just really played a lot of energy and being out there. And Eli Lavelle, a freshman, he was on the top 10 in the Ironman. Great hands, hadn't he? I mean, that's really some depth that maybe even somebody like me who kind of keeps up with the program didn't know about those two guys coming on like that.
And both of those kids, when you mention those two kids in particular, both really smart, both listen really well, and both practice and play really hard. And that playing hard and being smart gets you a long ways, and those two guys have done a really good job.
Yeah. And Sosh is another young player. He played some last year, but he's kind of really going to be more of a feature player this year, isn't he?
I mean, he's our fourth starter. So when we go out there on Friday, he'll be our fourth receiver, and he's kind of sneaky. Like those other three are going to get all the attention, but he can make just as many plays as the other guys. Maybe not as flashy, but Sosh is a good, dependable player, and he's probably one of the hard-nosed kids we got. Plays really hard.
And you never want to talk about this, but if Quinn can't go, you've got a freshman, Connor Poindexter, but then you've got some other guys that could come in there, older guys maybe.
Yeah, Cameron has played. So Cameron's honestly, other than offensive line, played every position in this offense. He started out as a quarterback as a freshman. Tyree can also sling the ball, so they've gotten some reps in the offseason, and that would probably be the direction we went if something, Lord forbid, something was to happen. But that would probably be more the direction we'd go with one of those two guys. They've gotten a lot of snaps. Cameron knows everything. Tyree's one of the smartest players I've ever been around, really football smart. So both those guys are capable if that was to come about.
And Tyree's a guy that didn't play in middle school, did he? Did he play in middle school?
Can't remember when he
laid
played.
out for a little while.
He didn't play all the time in high school. This is only his second year of high school football.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. He left after that. So running back. Let's see. Did you talk about your F?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jacob Carter will be the starter. Jacob's really come a long way. He's really grown up a lot the last 2 years. A lot better at catching the ball this year. He's made huge strides, blocking out of the backfield, just little things that we ask him to do outside of running the ball. he's really became more of a complete back than what he was before, and looking for him to have a big year.
He's a little chippy sometimes too, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a tough kid.
Yeah, he'll get after
He's
you.
tough.
He'll get after you.
Yeah, I like him.
Braden Mankey's behind him. He's a senior that moved in from Washington here a couple years ago. Real hard-nosed kid. You'll see him in that fullback role as well, but he runs the ball really hard. Bigger, stockier kid, so him and Carter kind of complement each other well. And then Gage Markham, which he'll be out this week, but he'll be our third back, and you'll see him get some carries as well. He's also a real tough, hard-nosed kid. He's small, but he might be the toughest one of the three.
And Coach Courtney, when I was doing the preview for the newspaper, one of the compliments that I think you can give anybody as a football player is to say, hey, they're a good football player.
Yes.
I mean, he's just a football player. And you said that about Mankey, and I think he is. And he's a good kid, too. I ran into him in town this week, had a great conversation with him. He's a smart kid.
Yeah, he's a real nice kid.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go up front. That's where we're a little thin. Got some new blood up there.
Yeah, our little thin up front. We lose that group last year. We had 3 or 4 guys that had been there and played a while, but feel pretty confident in these guys going forward. I think we're about to take some steps in the right direction. At left tackle, you have Caden Travis, who's been a rotation guy since he was a sophomore, so a lot of reps up there that he's gotten. Braden Brand-Sassy has moved to left guard. Okay, he has been center since he was a freshman, so you're talking about a lot of snaps there. Carson Yates is a senior. He'll be our starting center. Real smart kid. Plays really hard, extremely hard. We got another Counts at right guard. Okay, anytime you got a Counts, you feel pretty good. And then Keegan Pearson will be the right tackle. So those are our 5 starters, and then you'll see Jake Rich rotating in at guard. He's a sophomore. Anytime you hear the word Rich, that's good, tough,
Joey
smart
Rich's
kid.
boy.
Yeah, Joey Rich's son. Seth Henry will be a rotation tackle guy. Seth is
Can't miss him out there. He's a head taller than a lot of them.
Yeah, Seth's tall, and Seth plays really hard. I really like Seth. He's always asking questions and trying to get better, and Seth really wants to do well, and he does a good job. And then another one of our seniors that come out that don't play and then come out as seniors, Josh Marshall, is our backup center. And big kid and has really worked hard to kind of work himself into shape and get to where he can play several snaps on a Friday, and you'll probably see him out there at times.
Now, is that some Kiefer and that same group of Marshalls? Is a different?
I don't know if he's related to
I
them.
think it's a different group.
I think so.
Yeah. I'll tell you somebody that's kind of flown under the radar maybe a little bit in their career that's really been a good solid player is Cade Travis.
Yeah.
And expect a lot. I know you guys expect a lot out of him this year.
Cade's a real good player. Good player.
Yeah. He's another guy that looks good out there right now. I guess let's talk about special teams, and this is a pretty good honor. You're going to be able to keep a dry eye on this one.
I don't know. I couldn't the first Friday, and then I kind of got a little teary-eyed last Friday as well.
Yeah, so Coach Barry's daughter, Adri, is going to be the kicker. It looks like, anyway. She appears to be winning the job right now. She kicked her first extra point in the game against Marshall County, and I looked over at Coach Barry. I was just on his flank. I said, he was kind of down like this. I said, man, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's real tough.
That your oldest child there and her first chance, a female, is the first time we've had a female play in a scrimmage game. I think I've heard that over the years maybe some girls had tried out as kickers, this and that, maybe, but none ever got into a game. So if she gets on the field Friday night against Webster, it's going to be a first. So talk a little bit about this and what that's like.
Well, first off, I tried to talk her out of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that was trying to talk her into it.
You tried to talk her into it, didn't you? Yeah.
She was pretty good.
Those soccer kickers, man, she scored, like 4 goals last night in a soccer match?
Earlier in the week. Yep. Yeah. So she wanted to try it, so we're out there at practice. I think it was a defensive practice, and I said, well, go grab a ball and grab a tee, and I'm sitting there coaching the DBs, and I hear a thump. And it just sounds different than what it does off some other people's feet. And I look, and the ball is just high as could be and right where we want to kick when we're kicking off. And I'm just like, oh, my goodness. Here we go. And then she's like, is that good? And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty dang good. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. But she's done a good job. Just a really weird dynamic. I thought I was going to have to wait a while to coach my first kid in football with Case being 4. And then here we go. And ultimately we talked about it, with soccer. Gaige was good about working with soccer and saying we just need you here on Thursdays for special teams practice and then be here on Friday nights. And Coach DeBargo's been really good. She was good with it the whole time, and just said, if you're good with it, I'm good with it. Ultimately, that decision was hers. I said, if you're willing to take the risk, then that's your decision, and then we'll roll with it. And yeah, she's never looked back. She's been all in ever since, and she's soccer Monday through Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. She's all football, and she's excited and ready to go, and I'm a nervous wreck.
And I understand she's going to play with the basketball team.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to know how she swings a softball bat. You know?
I don't know. She hadn't played since T-ball. If it's like me,
We'd
it's
like
not
to make her
good.
a sport athlete.
Yeah.
You know, if she can do that.
Yeah,
so.
maybe she takes after her mom like that because not like me.
Well, that's got to be a special moment. Not only your child, but the first female to ever play in the program.
That's pretty cool.
You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like you said,
cool.
it's pretty cool. So let's talk a bit about that. You got another young kicker, the Brown boy, Mitchell Brown, is coming up too, and then Caden Travis is he's available too, I guess, at kicker.
Punter.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got him at kicker donor here. That's
Yeah,
wrong.
it's okay.
Yeah, he's been the punt. He's done a great job. I mentioned that.
he can punt it.
He's been doing really good as a traditional punter, but you don't do that a whole lot.
No, we don't, but we will have it this year, and it's something that we will do some, I think, more than – yeah. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, you kind of – as a coach, we like what we do on punt, but if you're better at something else, then I need to be able to adjust. And he can really kick it, so we'll just kind of see how it goes throughout the year and what we need to do there. But it's good to have options at punter for
But
sure.
on kickoffs, I mean, will Adrian be doing that, or is she going to be?
Well, Mitchell Brown's our other kicker. I just don't want to jump past him because he's been doing a really good job too, and a freshman, and he's out there kicking when I get to school every morning, or at least he has been this week. You know, he's really taking it serious, and he's another one that splits. He's with golf, and then he's with us, and just always trying to get extra kick in. And man, from where the kids come from when he first came to us to now, man, he's got so much better. And we expect for those guys to kind of be a two-headed monster at the kicker. We really do at some point. Both freshmen and both really work hard. And really good at it. So I just didn't want to skip over him. It just got to continue to do what he's doing, and he's going to be a really, really good player for us as well.
Well, what about on kickoffs? Now, who will handle that?
You want to talk about it?
It just depends on who's hot at the time. It's kind of we're pretty inconsistent. You know, we got Braden Mankey and Keegan Pearson have more leg. It's just the consistency where Adri's more consistent but doesn't quite have the leg. So it kind of just depends on who's putting them in the right spot at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, long snapper, holders.
Long snappers will be Caden Travis if he's not punting. He's the short snapper on extra point as well. Holders, Quinn, and then Cameron's his backup holder. And then the backup short snapper, I believe, is Dakota Sosh.
Long snapper French.
Yeah, Blake French is the backup long snapper.
So now, is Summers a punter? I think I've got that wrong on my depth chart.
No, you're correct.
He's punter as well, and McLean.
Yeah, those are our top two rugby style punters. So, Summers and McLean. And that's kind of like the kicking thing. We really don't know which one. That could change all the time and which one you see back there as far as who's kicking well. We just got to both be – they both can do it and both can do it well, but consistency is a thing there as well.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break and visit with some of our partners, and we're going to meet the Rockets, a new feature we've got this year. I think you're going to enjoy this, so get a load of this, and we'll be back in just a moment and talk about the defense.
Braden Mangy, senior, linebacker, Marion.
Quinn Summers, junior, quarterback, Sheridan.
Jake Rich, sophomore, OLDL, Marion.
Caden Howard, junior, receiver, Heads at University.
Davis Perriman, sophomore, wide receiver, Marion.
Cameron Belcher, senior, wide receiver, Marion, Kentucky.
All right, we're back. I hope everybody enjoys meeting the Rockets. We're going to do that each week and bring you some different faces and kind of a la NFL Monday Night Football type deal, on the broadcast. Kids had a great time doing it, and we thought it'd be something pretty fun. So, Coach Courtney, let's talk about the defense, man. That's your favorite subject, isn't it?
Yeah, I like defense.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. We're going to be bad to the bone, aren't we?
I sure hope so. Yeah, sure make me happy if we are. I guess I'll start outside in at corner, starting corners. Jacob Carter, who's also starting at F. This will be his second year starting, third year playing some. Just a really solid player. We expect for him. Had a good year last year at corner. Expect for him to continue doing what he's doing. At the other corner, we got Trey Taylor, also known as Juice. Really good player for us as well. He's kind of always been a little bit undersized, honestly, and he's just kind of grown up into his body and coming to his own. Talk about a guy that's always in the right spots that you can trust and really values what he's doing. He cares about football and he cares about being good, and man, he's really made some great improvements, and we expect for him to have a really big year. He's been as good as anybody defensively this year, so really excited about what he can do, and got some guys behind him. Noah Byford continues to impress us with his effort and how hard he plays. He's exciting. He plays with a lot of passion, and just really good to see him going in there. Young player that, like you kind of said, not surprised us necessarily, but maybe a little bit ready a little bit earlier than we may have expected from last year. So it's really good to see. Colton McLean's another one, just as good as athlete as we can ever have, and just feisty, tough, strong. It kind of gives us a physical dynamic back there at corner. Michael Porter is another corner that you might see on Friday nights. He's a senior. He's long and can run. And just, it's a senior. It's kind of his time. So we hope to get him in there and see what he can do as well. Yep.
Colt McLean is Tyree's younger brother, correct?
Yes.
So, and he's a freshman, is that right?
No, he's going to be a junior.
He'll be a junior.
Yep. Junior and senior. Yep. Junior and senior.
Okay.
Yep.
A lot of these guys, just I don't know, their names weren't familiar. Didn't get into the mix too much last year.
Yeah, just so many seniors. I think
Yeah,
what I mean. We were stacked, especially in skill positions. I mean, you lost a lot of seniors. So yeah, but I think you'll know those guys that we mentioned this year. And then at free safety, we got Cameron, who's a familiar face to everybody. Just a really good athlete, really good football player. Just been probably most impressed with his leadership this year and really kind of taming down the things that he needs to tame down and just really leading the way he's supposed to lead, because a lot of guys look to him. He's definitely one of our main leaders.
Really matured, I feel like, on and off the field.
Yeah, I think so. And Davis Perriman is behind him, another young player that we hope to get in there soon. He can do some really good things. He's tall, he's big, he can be rangy back there. So we like him as well. Working still inside at Rocket and Whip. We got Tyree at Rocket, who's just as good as a tackler as anybody that I've ever been around, played with or coached. Just really natural tackler, good athlete. Tyree can just do anything, man, on a football field. He can tackle, he can cover, he can rush the passer. So just really good weapon to have defensively. I don't know who I have listed behind him, but Sosh is the guy. Sosh is our swing guy right there. It'll be Tyree and Caden starting, and Sosh could be starting there as well too. Those three guys, I consider them all three starters and will play equal time. But Sosh is really tough, really consistent, just does what he's supposed to do, and really hard-nosed. Sosh has been a nice player for a long time, really, since he was a freshman. Just really gets it and just really has good football movement. And so I'm excited for him to get his chance this year, and he'll get a lot of time defensively. And got some last year, but he'll be on there a ton. Caden Howard is the other one, just athletic, long, can be very physical. He can pretty well. He's not quite the tackler Tyree is. I can say that because he's my nephew. But he can do some things really, really well on defense. All the things that I said about Tyree, he can do all of them too. And just a super athlete. You can put him on the top of the defense, the bottom. He can play at all three levels of the defense. So when you get guys like him and Tyree that can play at all three levels, they let you do a lot of things defensively and can make it tough on offenses.
And you got Lavelle too.
Oh yeah,
Lavelle.
Yeah. He'd been fourth and wouldn't be scared to put him in at all. He's a guy that's going to be in the right spots. He'll stick his nose in there. He's young and a freshman, and obviously has some maturing body-wise to do. But he's, it takes a special player when you don't care to put a freshman out there. We won't move things around at all. If it ever gets down to him, he'll jump right in. When we were thinking Tyree could possibly be out, that's fine. It puts Lavelle into that third spot, and we'll play him and feel really good about it. So he'll definitely get his opportunities, and a really good kid to coach, really good kid to coach.
Yeah.
Linebackers, at Sam, we got Mankey. We talked about the same thing. Just a really good football player. Stands out to me as his motor. He's always going to be running to the football and flying around. That's the best thing that he has. At Mike is Poindexter, who's been a good player for us for a couple of years. Hadn't been a starter, I don't think. Maybe he's got some starts, but been a guy that played a ton as kind of my swing guy. He knows all positions, very familiar. Just the quarterback for our defense and what we want out of a middle linebacker. He'll step right in. We've had a good run of middle linebackers, and he'll step right into them. And then at Willie, we got Blake French. Blake French has been another guy that's got some time as a junior, but they had 3 senior linebackers last year, so it was tough to get on the field. And, he's waited his time, and it's his time now, and he's done really well with the time these guys. We expect for him to step in there and have a great senior year. And then back behind them, Gaige Markham would be our next sub, who would play a ton, just to give us guys. We believe in playing a lot of guys, especially early. Obviously, with him out, it makes the rotation a little bit different. You got Landon Curry, who's a senior, who could get out there. Trent Todd, Logan Nolan is another one. And I could be missing some. We got a lot of depth at linebacker. It's just not quite all matured yet. We got a lot of young guys at linebacker that are going to be nice players, but might just not be ready right now.
Yeah.
Defensive line, you got Caden Travis, who is a consistent guy coming back, senior leader down there. He's been really good for us on the D-line. We moved him there last year, and he made explosive plays. I thought he made us better defensively instantly just by moving him from linebacker to D-line and getting him out there. Really gets after it really fast, really can create some chaos down there. At the other end, we got Jay Stevenson. Jay played for us last year, came to us from Caldwell, but he was ineligible, so he couldn't play varsity, but he played for us JV. Jay's a big kid, just a prototypical defensive end type body, probably 6 foot, 6'1", pushing 200, 210. I don't know what he is, and runs pretty well. Just a really good defensive end. Really excited about having him. Glad to have him. He's really made some strides. It's his first year playing DN for us. He actually played Rocket last year, but just keeps getting bigger, and we really needed some depth in there at D-line, and has really did a good job with it. The other defensive end, we got Keegan Pearson, who's another long, bigger body guy that can really stuff some holes. Jansen Fowler is another defensive end, this is his first year coming out, another one that's senior. He's just so aggressive. That's his main thing. Aggressive as it comes. He's going to fly to the football, hit everything with his face. He's got a new face mask with all these bars on it that Lathan Easley used to wear. He's a tough kid, and he's fun to watch and fun to coach. He really gets after it. And I don't know if I'm missing anyone else at defensive end.
You had Yates and
yeah, Carson Yates and Seth Henry could both be guys that could give us. The truth is, the defensive line is the first guys we feel really good about, and then we got a lot of things that we got to work out down there. It's still open, and it'll be open all year. You could see any of those guys that we've mentioned down there. So, and both those guys are very capable down there as well.
Yeah.
At nose guard right now, we're going to go with Ethan Sosh, week 1. He is a freshman, but he's a bull down there. We really like to get as much speed as we can down there and strength. And being a freshman and putting him at nose guard says a whole lot right there about how we feel about him. We feel like he can get the job done, and that we believe in him. And also we got Brand Sassy. Brand Sassy will come in and be a different kind of change-up nose. He gives you a bigger traditional type nose guard that can play both gaps and really move the line of scrimmage back. And we'll see him a ton in there too.
Yeah. Well, that's your lineup pretty well. Roster-wise, you've got, what, 40?
We're 49 or 50 now. 49, 50. I can't remember.
That's pretty,
at 49 or 50.
That's pretty good. 2A, you need to have those kind of numbers, traditional 1A school. So
right.
That's some really great numbers, Just kind of recap. Coming off of last year, we were 7-5 last year against this same schedule.
Yeah.
We lost twice to OCATH, who was state runner-up. Mm-hmm. Lost the state champion Mayfield. So 3 of our 5 losses were to guys that were playing the last day of the season.
Mm-hmm. Another 2
at the big house.
Yeah. The other 2 were pretty good.
The other 2, Union County, McCracken County was the other 2 losses. And Union kind of got upset a little early.
They did, region. They both got beat in the region.
But they were really good,
yes.
and will be really good this year.
Yeah.
So, kind of looking. That's what we had last year, and coming into this year, of course, it's, like we said, the same schedule, and it ain't going to change much as far as what we have to do to win those games. Our bye week will be September 20th. But traditional schedule somewhat when we've been in 2A. We're also going to play OCATH again in the regular season, and they're a pretty good football team. Obviously, Mayfield was ranked in the top 25 overall. I saw sometime over the weekend the post. Of course, we'll open with Webster County, a team we've played as much as I think basically any team in history. A team that we've pretty well dominated in the series, but now they're coming off a pretty good season last year. We beat them to open the season, but then they won 6 games and lost to Hart County in the first round of the playoffs. Second-year coach. I know your buddy coached over there for a long time. He's AD now. But what do you expect out of Webster County? I've heard that maybe one of their better players is not coming back.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that for sure. That's what I've heard as well, but I don't want to speculate too much because I'm not sure. But I think just like I've said over the years, I think Coach LaGrange laid a good foundation, and Coach Milam came in last year and really even built off of what he had. And Grant Carter's a defensive coordinator who's a special guy to me. He was my first middle linebacker over there when I started coaching at Webster. So I think what stands out to me on film, and last year what stands out to me is they play hard, and that's a big compliment to your coaches. And that's something that you always want to hear as a coach. Man, your guys get after it, and you can say that about Webster County. Last year, I thought they were one of the best wins that we had. I think that people probably overlooked and didn't understand how good they were. But man, they were a really good football team last year and fought really hard. In the last 2 years, it's been really tough to be able to pull out those wins. So we expect for it to be a dogfight. I expect for them to come out firing and be really fired up. They play with a lot of passion and a lot of energy, and that's just what I expect out of them. That's what they've shown in their scrimmages, and that's what they've shown over the last couple of years.
I believe I read Andy Hunt puts together the kind of the pregame package, and it's all on the website, Rocket Football website. You can look at that; it tells you all you want to know. But I believe last year was their first winning season in like 21 years. So like you said, they're kind of putting some things together. And I know for the last couple of years, I've heard the junior pro people talking about.
Oh yeah, they've been really good.
Being really good down in that level. So that's coming. That's a game we've always kind of marked up. But, it's getting tougher all the time.
Oh yeah, that's not the case, and I hope that none of us look. I mean, they've shown us the last 2 years how competitive of a game it's been, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Coach Milam in 2002 when they were really good, and I don't know if they made the semifinals, but one of their best teams, and probably their best teams. But he was assistant back then, and he's kind of come back and try to rebuild that tradition, and to get them back as a winning season his first year as a head coach is a big deal. Yeah, they're on the up, and they have been. And it's pretty easy to see.
I mean, we've beat them 35 times out of 49. So we've kind of obviously dominated that. But yeah, it's getting tougher every year. We also want to talk about some things that maybe have changed. And some special event or special giveaways or auctions and stuff this week before the game. This will be a home game. There's no special events necessarily, but you've got a football signed by a guy maybe in the Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah. One of the best ever. Joe Montana. We got involved. Miss Kara Markham, who works at the school, and Jay Stevens' mom knows some people and had got us a signed ball and did it for us last year at the Peyton Manning ball, and we're doing the same thing. I believe that it's already began on Facebook on Serena's Dickerson's post if you're interested in it. And I know the Curnel Ag football page has shared it. And I don't know the exact details, so I don't want to know, but I know that it's going on now and will continue, I believe, through halftime, but don't take my word for it. It's whatever she said on that post. If you go out there and check it out, if you're interested in that ball, all the proceeds will come back to supporting the program. So pretty neat ball to have.
Legitimate autographed Joe Montana football, man. That's pretty special. He's back in my wheelhouse. Back in my day. Also, well, kickoff is 7 o'clock. We've been doing 7 o'clock for several years now. Hopefully everybody's accustomed to that. Got a lot of construction out there, Coach. What's going to be the parking? Is there a new dynamic on that? What's going on?
So we got limited parking, obviously, in front of the stadium where most people used to park. It's just a lot of it's taken up with the new construction. But you can park there and fill that up. And then we'll have the old State Department that'll have parking. And there'll be 2 gates open, one at the Rocket Arena and one in the back by the gravel lot where the State Department was. And then also up by the ward office, you can park up there still as well. And then if all that runs out, there's parking back by the annex to the school, or where the Church of Christ is back there.
Cross Rocket Creek.
Yes, across Rocket Creek. There's a gravel lot back there, and then some annex parking as well. So below Rocket Arena will be completely marked off for officials, and that's where the visitors' buses will be. So there'll be cones set, and nobody will be able to come below Rocket Arena, so the bottom section. So that's what we're looking at. The scrimmages have went pretty smooth. A lot of people said they like just being able to pull at the State Department and walk right in that gate. So it may be a good thing for most people. I don't know.
So there will be ticket sales over on that side,
Yes,
or scanners.
Yep.
Because we're GoFan again this year.
Correct.
There's no cash at the gate.
No cash at the gate. Let's go,
But they do take a card.
Yes, they do have card
If you have a
readers.
card, credit card, debit card, you don't have to be online and have your ticket,
Right.
your e-ticket. You can just swipe your card; they'll let you in. So they're making it a little bit easier. A lot of people still lobbying for cash,
sure.
but the days of cash, I think my friends are over.
Probably dealing with the school system. It just
Yeah.
makes things a little
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Want to also, again, really give a lot of thanks to our partners that help us bring this program to you weekly. Of course, we're presented by Whitetail Properties, Mark Williams and his land team. They're always out there. Got some big stuff coming up too. Some big sales coming up. You can look at the Crittenden Press and see those as well. But also want to give a shout out to Par 4 Plastics, Deer Lakes Golf Course down there. Ricky Hughes, he's a big Rocket fan. Curnel Ag, the Curnel boys, they're Rocket folks. Farmers Bank and Trust, one of our top partners. H&H Home and Hardware. Don't forget about the beard deal coming up. If you hadn't seen that, check the newspaper out. There's a big ad. People saying, "What's that big brown thing?" It's the beard beard contest. Johnson's Furniture and Appliance. Speaking of them, the Johnsons, Patty Johnson Merrill, her daughter played on the volleyball team. Man, the volleyball team's rocking.
They're good. They're really good.
They've won their first two. They're number one in the region and beat number 2 Christian County last night and beat Marshall County Monday night.
Yeah, they're for real.
For real, team to watch. KB Pharmacy, USA Mortgage. That's Darrick Myers. I assume we're going to have some fireworks. Everything's on go.
Yeah, there is a little bit difference. We'll see how it goes, just because
It gets tighter.
well, where he was shooting them off is now the parking
Now the parking
lot. So
Yeah.
we got to go to a different location. We'll see how it works. Derek will figure it out. He's really good at that. And really good
Yeah,
to us, so.
he's licensed and bonded for that. You know, I mean, it's a pretty serious thing anymore. Used to anybody get up there and
Right.
fire it off. Now it's the feds want to make sure you're doing it right for obvious reasons. Seaplant Federal Credit Union, Frazer Law, Bart Frazer and Kobe Evans. Riley Tool and Machine, voice of the Rockets, Todd Riley. He gets better every year, doesn't he?
He's really good.
He's good. I like his big
He's been
baritone
good since I've
voice.
known him.
Yeah. We've always had some great announcers, man.
Yeah.
Going back to when you guys played, even farther back, you know. Dale Brantley and just they went on and on. Mulligan's Pub out at the restaurant and pub out at the golf course. First United Bank, YTG Insurance, Tanner Tabor. Hodge Sports and Apparel down on Sturgis Road. They've been there forever, I think. And Full Body Fitness, Serena Dickerson. If you want to get fit, give her a shout. If you want just about anything done,
Yeah, that's right.
call Serena.
Yeah.
She'll find a way to get her done. Yeah. Proud to have her and all she does with the program. Coach, closing comments, Coach Barry. You got a special season coming up here with your daughter. I know you're on pins and needles. Hey, I'm worried about my big lugging son, playing football. I can only imagine having a daughter.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about Ben.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ben handled himself. Yeah, I'm just excited. Just something different. Excited for these guys. Excited for her. I'm just ready to go. Ready for Friday.
Yeah.
Nervous but ready.
Yeah. Coach Courtney?
Yeah, just excited to be back on the show. Means football season's here.
That's right, man.
Just a good feeling. Just to get these guys. I know what it feels like to be out there, and just to know that they're going to have that feeling in a couple of days, and being able to new guys get new opportunities. It's really exciting, and a little bit scary with the unknown for everybody, but just excited overall, and feel like we got a really good thing going.
You'll a couple of things up too I want to cover. You'll see some new coaches on the sideline
Yes,
this year.
yeah, that's correct.
Trevor, and then you've got a Rocket alumnus out there. So talk about those two guys you'll see on the sideline.
Yeah, Trevor Lewis came to us from Campbellsville, just a recent college graduate. Played at Trigg County. His dad's Kobe Lewis. If you follow football, you're probably
Big
familiar
football
with him.
family right there.
Yeah, he was the head coach at Trigg County. Now he's the offensive coordinator at Paducah Tim. And Trevor's just coming. Trevor loves football, and Trevor's always really liked Crittenden County football. He's really always appreciated it, appreciated the show, and just the brand in which we played. And he's done absolutely everything that we've asked of him. Just really good. Going to make a really good coach. It's nice to see young guys that are wanting to get in the school system and wanting to coach, because they're far and few between anymore. Finding a good young assistant that wants to be a coach, that's one of his main things. It's hard to find. So we're really blessed to have him and have nothing but good things to say about him. And then Travis Blazina, who was just playing for us last year. Yeah, he's been GAing for us. He's another man that's just got Rocket football going through his blood.
He loves
man.
football.
Yeah, and it's specifically Rocket football. And just like the Blazinas are all big football fans. And
Bears and the Rockets.
That's right. And he didn't want to get away from it at all, and we're super glad to have him. Same thing. They've both been really good about being where they're supposed to be and coaching what they can coach, and just it's really good to have younger guys too that kids can relate to. Not that we're that old, but it is different, and having guys that are a little bit more laid back and understanding, that have just played, they can help them in ways that we can't. So it's just good.
I know we're running a little long, but I want to touch on the middle school. Been a lot of talk about that. I know out in the community there was a time we didn't know if we was going to have a middle school team this year. The numbers were so down, but you had to cancel some of the games. But I think good news this week.
Well, yeah, we had a good practice. We had really big numbers the first day early in the week, and they have dropped some, but we continue. We had to cancel one more game, so I'm not sure exactly where we're at. I believe we had to cancel the first
29th.
three. Yeah, I believe so. I don't know if that makes us September 5th is what's in my head, but that could be wrong. But anyway, we're going to try to play. That's the plan. Hopefully, we can keep everybody healthy because we are low on numbers, but. We got to find a way for them guys to play, and there'll be opportunities for them to play possibly JV and stuff after their season. But as of right now, we've got some more guys, and I know Coach Dossett and Hunter Boone and Travis Fitzgerald and all them down there are really excited about having some guys out and getting ready to play. And we've had 8 guys or so that have been practicing all summer long. And that says the commitment about those guys. My goodness, they don't even know if they're going to have a season. They're going out there, can't do a lot of football drills. You can just imagine anybody that's played football. You got 8 guys out to a football practice, and you're just consistently there. Man, it says a lot about those guys, and extremely proud of them, and extremely happy to get the new ones out.
All right, Friday night, here we go. 2024 campaign is going to get underway. We'll see you at Rocket Stadium, kickoff 7 p.m. Be there early and grab a hot dog and enjoy all the ambiance and the fellowship before the game. We'll see you Friday night.